Again, good evening, everyone. Bonsoir tout le monde. Is that how you say it in French? Okay, so tonight we will talk about the effect of the dynasty, the generations before you, on the life and health of everybody in the dynasty, especially you, in all aspects of life. So first of all, I would like to explain what is a dynasty. It's okay if I draw on the board? Everybody can see it?
Yes.
A dynasty is a group of people, different souls, which come in the same group in different functions. So if we have a family or a dynasty, here is where you are, here is your children or child, this is you, this is your child, this is your father or mother, this is your grandfather or mother, grandfather or mother. Here is your great-grandfather or grandmother, great-grandfather or mother. Here is the grandfather of your grandfather of your father or mother, but here is the grandfather of your grandfather. All right, so it's the grandfather, mother of your grandfather, mother. Each one of them is a different soul, all taking function in the family. Each one of them have different function because they are in a different generation. So they have a different function in the family role they play in this family. But it is not past lives, because in a past life, the soul is in the eternal light worlds, and every once in a while, the soul comes to planet Earth, has a life, and comes back. After 10, 20, 30, 40, 70, 80, 120 years, the soul returns, stays here for some time, maybe 100 years, maybe less, maybe more, maybe a few hundreds. Then it comes back to another life circle and come back up. Come back to planet Earth and come back up. So it is the same soul coming and going, having experiences on this planet. And our souls have been doing this coming and going to this planet thousands of times already. In many different dynasties. And at this lifetime that you have now, it is in your dynasty. So the dynasty is actually a big group of people. Because except for you, you have a father and a mother, that's two. You have grandfather and grandmother of both, so that's 2 and 2, that's 4. So here we have 2, and here we have 4. So for these 4, there are also 2 for each. So that's 2 and 2 is 4. 4 and 4 is 2 for each is 8. And so forth and so forth. So here there are many souls. The higher and further you go, there are more and more souls that you may get their history into your soul as you come to life and their effect will affect your health, your mental state, your life, and your destiny, and your unconscious choices. Okay, you understand that? Is that clear? Yes? Eternal light worlds. Higher dimensions where the soul stays when it is between incarnations. Eternal light worlds. You can say with the Creator if you want. So why would souls want to come to a dynasty? So for that we have to understand a little bit more about the soul's history and the soul's evolution. So if everyone received this page, and on this page you see 2 lines and a list on the bottom. And I will go part by part on this list and with this list of topics and all these marking on these timelines to explain to you what does it affect you and your entry to your dynasty. So why do a soul choose a certain dynasty? Why a certain nation? Why a certain country? Why a certain civilization? So for that we have to understand the development and the evolution of the souls to see how come the dynasty basically supports, enhance, and focus the soul to do its lessons, focus on them, and try to finish and complete the lessons, and through the trigger of the issues with the dynasty. So, the soul has been created at the beginning of creation. So we can make a line like that. And the starting of creation is with the Big Bang. The Big Bang of creation. And then, through the Big Bang of creation, there were many eras that have occurred. An era is a general term for a long period of time. We have Earth era. Earth era is about 3,000 to 4,000 years. Earth era. Galaxy era is 26,000 years. Universe era is hundreds of thousands of years. I don't know exactly how many. Hundreds of thousands of years. And we're talking here about universal eras, which affect the galaxy era and the Earth era. You understand? Part of it is the universe that circles on itself, a full circle. That's one era. When the galaxy rotates around itself, a full circle, that is 26,000 years. It is marked on the Mayan calendar. 26,000 years, and it ended up 2012. An Earth era is about 3,000 to 4,000 years, around 3,000 years, and it happens anytime Earth and the solar system makes a circle around themselves. That's 3,000 years. And when Earth rotates around itself, it's 1 day. And when it rotates around the sun, it is 1 year. You understand? Okay. So we're dealing with universal eras, which are very big, time-wise, related to Earth. Okay? So we have 12 eras. And these 12 eras are universal eras, and the souls that are created in these 12 eras the soul that starts in the first era, going through 12 different eras, and each era is a lesson, universal lesson with a specific content of learning, events and experiences which leave their marks on the soul evolution. We teach it in the one method on the 4th course. All the eras, their contents, their effects on their souls. These are the first lessons the soul actually experiences. So in each era, the soul goes through a certain lesson. These universal eras and their effect on the soul basically govern which lessons the soul will have next. So, when humanity inhibited planet Earth, this humanity inhibited planet Earth, the first 12 lifetimes on Earth were life lessons. So there are 12 life lessons. Each and every one of these 12 life lessons are a soul wound. The soul was wounded in that experience on planet Earth. The wound was severe and affected multiple levels of the soul and multiple kinds of traumas and multiple kinds of damages to the structure of the soul. So then the soul tried to correct those effects of these traumas, of these 12 earth level lessons, and then karma started. So from that 12 lessons and thereafter, there were 4,000 to 5,000 lifetimes. Lifetimes. 4,000 to 5,000 incarnations on planet Earth. Why so many? Because from the beginning of humanity, children's death, pregnancy losses were very high rated. There were many losses of infants early in life, in early humanity. Only in this last century, or the century before, the mortality rate of babies went down in the more advanced civilizations, while in Africa and other countries where starvation, not good water, not enough drinkable water and other conditions create early infants' death because of lifestyle, no hygiene, etc. So throughout humanity until World War II, basically, most people had died in millions, in plagues, infections, starvation, malnourishment, weather effects, abuse at home, general violence, wars. Should I go on? So all these effects created immense amount of deaths of big amount of people at early age. So life cycles are very short. So that's why it's not hard to come into 5,000 lifetime until today. It's because life was short. Only until World War II, ended up in 1945, old age was 65. People retired at 65. Today people can retire at 80 and 85 like they were 20 years earlier, through the 40s of the last century. So humanity with medicine and science has advanced and longevity has increased, so people live longer. They function longer, they stay healthy longer, therefore their life is longer. But before, people's lives at 30, 40, 50 ended. And many people died in wars, infections, wrong food, weather conditions, war between countries, violence. So it was normal for humanity to go through that. And then the last 12 past lives, PL past lives, before birth, are the ones that are the freshest in your life today. The soul remembers them and is affected by them easily, because they are the closest to this life now from experience and trauma. So many of the last 12 past lives are registered and affect our life today as karma. What happens when the soul wants to come and start to have another lesson on planet Earth? The soul, when it plans to come down to Earth, it has to take into consideration which lesson of these 12 lessons and the error lessons and the humanity 12 original lessons here, which lessons, life lessons, which are soul wounds, it wants to heal and completely correct and complete in this life. So before coming to this life, the soul chooses 3 out of these 12 life lessons to complete. 3 of them. And it chooses which one will be the first to affect the soul early in life. Which one of these 12 life lessons that are chosen, the first one that the soul chooses, one of the 3, will be affecting the soul early in life. So, the soul choosing 3 lessons needs to find how to experience on Earth these lessons, so it helps it to realize that it is a lesson and correct it, complete it, and completely heal it. How does the soul do it? It has to make a choice about, first of all, the lessons. 2, where geographically it should be born. In that geography, which country and nation will be its nation. Which nation to belong to. From that nation and history of nation, which tribe will do the best for reinforcing that lesson through their history and other values. From that tribe, they will choose the dynasty of these 16 people, which the soul will have to take their personal experience into its own fields on the higher soul to govern its reactions to reality based on their experiences and conflicts and traumas and perception of life. All right, you understand the sequence? So when the soul chooses the dynasty, it chooses from that each dynasty, the mother dynasty and the father dynasty, it chooses the parents. It chooses the parents according to who they are, any karmatic relations it needs to resolve, and in which lesson their blocks and effects will enhance the soul's dealing with that lesson. 1 or 2 or 3 of these lessons that the parents will trigger in their personalities, lifestyle, and life events to bring it up for that soul, who is you, to feel, experience, and focus you more towards being aware of your lesson and completing it. So the parents and the dynasty is chosen by the soul to be able to perform the best way completion of the lesson. You understand that? So nobody can say, oh, I have terrible parents, because the soul chose them to enhance your lesson. You came with a lesson, and your parents assist you through their behavior, personality, life events, choices, style, culture, and their own personal wounds to help you to get your lessons noted, focused on, and hopefully completed and healed. Okay, so this is how we end up choosing a set of parents and a dynasty. Now, when does the soul enter the dynasty? The soul, as you can see on this page, you see it's red here on top, and then everything else, the line is red. Can you see that? Okay, because of this map is too short, I will use it on the second line with red, okay? So here we have a timeline. Here the soul enters the dynasty 18 months before conception. 18 months, a year and a half, before conception, the soul enters the dynasty, the total dynasty, which allows the soul to absorb all the concept that it will need to deal with during life on earth, according to the lessons that he chose to deal with and complete. So, the dynasty of the father, including the soul of the father, the soul gets acquainted with it, as well as the dynasty of the mother soul, the baby gets acquainted to them too. So before conception, the closer it comes to conception, the closer the baby gets to the parents, to the donors of the primary cells of conception. Okay, so the first 18 months